We've been told once again that they're not going to allow us in. More conflicting stories, more conflicting information. Now they're saying that we can't even come in tomorrow, when initially they told us, and I recorded these conversations, so I can assure you that, and I told her that I recorded the conversation, so she should make sure she's restating accurately what it is she told me initially. She said she never told me that it was 24 hours, that they needed at least 24 hours notice. I said, well, then we could come back tomorrow. They're not going to allow us to come back tomorrow. They said that they need 2 weeks and that that's their standard operating procedure. I said, well, okay, what is the reason that you need 2 weeks? Why is that the standard operating procedure? What do you have to do in 2 weeks? What takes 2 weeks to allow a member of Congress in a co-equal branch of government to be able to go into a facility run by the executive branch that is funded with taxpayer dollars to check on children detained who have been separated from their parents or have traveled here unaccompanied, unless you are trying to cover up what it is that's going on here. And she was stonewalling me, and this was the public affairs specialist. I'm sure you've interacted with public affairs specialists before. They don't answer questions that they don't want to answer or that they're not authorized to answer. She kept repeating the same thing, that it was their standard operating procedure. And I said, well, so you're basically just telling me just because. And she said, no, I'm not telling you just because. I said, well, you are. And I said, look, I need to know the answer to this question. What takes 2 weeks? Why is that your policy? And she said, I'd have to talk to the leadership of HHS to get the answer to that question. I asked her who it was that I should speak to. Senator Nelson's already spoken to Deputy Secretary Hargan. She said that would be the appropriate person. Hopefully I'll be able to get him on the phone as well and get the answer to the question about what takes 2 weeks. The bottom line here, though, is that they're kind of pointing the finger at Comprehensive Health Services, that the contractor is the main obstacle. They aren't. They told us today. We spoke with them today directly, and they said they would be ready to welcome us into the facility. So this is the administration stonewalling and covering up what's really going on here.
Is there any written policy you're aware of, or are they just kind of making it up as they go?
That's what I wanted to know. I don't know the answer to that question. They kept saying it was standard operation. She kept saying, this is our standard operating procedure. We're more than happy to welcome you, but we need more notice. We have to coordinate with the contractor. We have to, I won't be sarcastic, but just throwing, obstacle after obstacle to lengthen the period of time that it takes for them to allow us to come in.
They're saying apply, and 2 weeks later we may or may not let you come in.
Yeah, she didn't certainly did. She assured me that they do tours like this all the time, that they've welcomed other members of Congress in. They just need enough notice, and that notice apparently is at least 2 weeks.
Since they reopened, do you know whether anyone has been allowed in, whether it's an elected official or anyone else?
There wasn't a public awareness of this facility, even having been reopened. It was open, I believe, earlier in 2016, and then it was closed. And I only learned yesterday from my immigration leaders that I met with that it had been reopened and that there were nearly 1,000 children who were being housed here. And so, we talked about that publicly in front of the press, and Senator Nelson let me know that he was planning to come down here and I joined him with Representative McGee, and you've seen the result.
So will you try again in 2 weeks then? Do you plan on?
I'm not waiting 2 weeks. I will continue to press to come not only here, but to the facility in Cutler Bay, as well as the one in Miami Gardens. Those two facilities are facilities, from what I understand, are housing children, much younger children, who have been separated from their families. And so, we're in session all this week. I plan to, at the very least, try again next Monday.